going on, everyone? My name is Tim and this is the Warehouse Series. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you. Give me a thumbs up. Discord, link in the description below. So I'm going to go over a couple Discord pallets, and the last set of pictures I'm going to go over is actually pictures I took in our warehouse that are pretty comical, but I want to explain this person's build. It's pretty funny. But the first thing I want to talk about is breaker pallets. Now, we have talked about these in the past where people take an empty pallet and they throw it on top of a product that they're selecting, and then they start stacking on top of that. There's 3 times I think this is okay to do. I personally do not do this. That does not mean that it's not right. There's definitely times that you can do this, and I'm going to show you 3 pictures when the proper time is to do this. 3 things you need to look for. 1, do you have a level surface to put that pallet on? You do not want to put a breaker pallet on an uneven surface. 2, are you crushing cases? If you are crushing cases, then that pallet does not need to be up there. And the third thing is it midway? This person that I'm going to be showing their product, they do put breaker pallets down lower. I don't agree with that as much because you're still going to have an unstable load, in my opinion. That breaker pallet should be midway through the pallet, and then start stacking your additional product on top of it. And I'm going to show you 3 of this person's pictures right here. This is the first one, very well executed. We got a nice base, it looks like corn. Then we got potatoes on top of that, and then we throw our breaker pallet on. So what do you see? My 3 things. We're not crushing anything, we got a level surface, and we're midway through the pallet. And that is going to show a nice stable load, because if you would have took all the product on top of that breaker pallet and dropped it right on the potatoes, now you get, if you throw potatoes, you know they're lumpy, so you might get a corner to rock out or rock in. So very well executed with this breaker pallet. If I threw this type of product, there's a possibility I might use one of these at this given time, but I just never do it. And then the second picture I want to look at is this one right here. Once again, it looks like we're in the wet room and we got some apples and stuff up here. Those cases, the blue and white boxes, they almost look like broccoli to me. Broccoli boxes stink. If your broccoli boxes are like our broccoli boxes, they're weak. You grab the handles and the handles break. So throwing a breaker pallet on top of these broccoli cases to stack the rest of your stuff, I think is well executed. Once again, 3 things. Level base, midway through the pallet, we're not crushing anything. And the third pallet is this one right here. Once again, we have corn on the bottom of this pallet. They have big open boxes, these corn boxes. We have them in our produce warehouse too. They are huge open boxes. So if you put something on top of it, it's going to fall in the box. Once again, what do you see? We're midway through the pallet. We got a level pallet and we're not crushing anything. And then we were able to stack the rest of our product on top of that breaker pallet. Perfectly executed on these 3 pictures. Very well done. So if you ever think about throwing a pallet, remember those 3 things. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about is the frozen food section. When you get these meats and chickens and you're getting different types of frozen foods, as you can see right here, although this is a little bit blurry, but you can still see, we column stack this. Although I don't work in frozen foods, we get cross docks a lot. So we have a frozen food warehouse, and their product comes through our perishable building and then gets put onto another truck. So it comes off of one truck, we cross dock it to the other truck, and we get it out to the stores. So I do see a lot of these products come. And I must say, we rebuild a lot of these pallets that come cross docking on our through our perishable building, and it's because you are column stacking them. These pallets cannot be column stacked. They're very heavy boxes, and a lot of the boxes are crushed or crushing before you even, while you're selecting them off the pallet in the warehouse. So you have to be careful and mindful of trying to tie these cases in just like this. This is perfectly done. I'm actually going to do side by side here. So we got this one over here, and this is the side view of it. Very well executed pallet in the in the frozen food section. So this is how you want to do your pallets. You do not want to call and stack them. So if you work in frozen, take a look at these pallets, and this is how you want to do it. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is I'm going to show you 3 pictures of our warehouse. I tell you all the time, if you establish a base about waist high, from here up is not as important. So I'm going to show you this person's pictures. Now, we get people in our warehouse that say, I can't believe his pictures or his pallets don't fall over. And I'm going to go through a little bit of why his pallets don't fall over. So here's the first picture right here. He always builds sloppy pallets. It's probably just because he just doesn't care. But even though this base is not the greatest, it's still, if you look throughout it, the weight distribution is there. He's still got a high case on the outside, low case on the inside. He just doesn't care. That's all that is. And look what he does. Wraps around the middle of the pallet. I told you, even a pallet like this, you do not have to wrap the crap out of your pallet. Couple times around the middle of the pallet and keep going. I don't understand why people feel like they got to wrap the bottom of the pallet, just the middle. Just wrap the middle and keep going. And that's what this person does. But if you look throughout this pallet and you're an experienced selector, you could tell they know what they're doing and they just don't care. And I know this person, he just does not care. So that's one side of the pallet. This is his back pallet right here. Once again, what do you see? Our first 3 rows, we actually got a nice base in there. From there on up, he's just column stacking. He don't care what it looks like. He don't care if it's leaning. He'll throw some wrap on it. He's going to do whatever he has to do to get to the door. And the last picture I want to show you is hysterical. That is this one right here. How the heck is this thing standing up? It's because of what I just said. He establishes a base. And then from there on out, between weight distribution and being lucky with this Gatorade in the middle that it didn't push it out anymore, but he threw some wrap around the middle of the pallet. And this is to the extreme of not caring so much from waist up. And I do want to say in the defense of this person, he is a shorter person. So that leads me on to my last thing is people say, you know, I'm a short selector. How can I do things? Because if you're building a pallet that's 7 foot tall and you're 5'4", I mean, it's very hard to build. So I always say is once, it doesn't matter how tall you are. Once I get the chest high, you want to start building from the middle of your pallet out. So you want to start establishing the middle of your pallet and you almost get forced to start stacking the columns whenever you're a shorter person. So I would say get chest high and then start building up the middle of your pallet and start working your way out to the outside, you know, and that's how I would do it. But the reason why a lot of his stuff looks like it's thrown up there is because it is, because he's a shorter person. So keep that in mind while looking at these pallets. But all in all, they're not the greatest built pallets, but he rarely ever drops one because he knows what he's doing. All right, guys, so that's the last pictures I want to show you. Like I said, I just wanted to let you know that that base means everything. You have a solid base, and then you could really get away with not building the top of this pallet that well, as you can see right here. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the channel. I wish you subscribe to the channel, join Discord. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.